What is that?
We've had some every year every year going to this some people. I just been able to put one of the graduate and they pulled the whole branch around a branch he was taking. They're fairly upright steps.
She.
Yeah, he basically back cut it, and he'd scarfed it, and he back cut it, and it split way down past the scarf, and it didn't come off the scarf, and he's lost over a year with his back. No grandson, no one else on site trained, a little old client that rang the ambulance, and inexperienced with the cuts he did and the type of timber.
It seems to be a forum, like, the shape of Jones is bloody
It's not saw, get rid of that.
I've been here for 5 years and you still haven't listened.
No?
Nah, leave that there. It's alright.
No.
I'll have a word with him. I'll have a word.
We're looking for Aaron O'Malley. Aaron's probably looking for us because he wants us to be...
By what cross?
You're going to do all this green. So what have you based your plan? Where's your data? Where's your benchmark? Along the board.
Yeah, so I'm going forward.
Sorry, my friend.
Video camera. Left to right, there's a sample of where it comes from.
Bruce, do you have prices here?
Yes, clearly they're recycled by going through an initial breakdown like a carrot grater basically. They're then mixed in the proportions of plastic, whatever you want, PVC, whatever.
Yeah, they've actually got
then
especially
for the application. And then they're ground down to the fine ground. They're then melted and squeezed into a mould. And out comes the product. That's it in a nutshell. Excellent. And it's UV friendly. Termites do not attack them at all. And you're considerate of the environment while you're doing it, because it's it's part of our exercise of recycling, and that's part of the community's wishes that recycling be what is it? Just common sense use of product. Of course. And the whole ideal is silly. Okay, so if you do wear this out, you can chuck it in the bin, it gets recycled again.
No,
it's a continual circle.
No, you're actually achieving all sorts of things by doing this.
When you make a round string around the tree, whatever you use, whatever you pull them in, do it about a third down.
Throw it up, and then we'll pull our rope up through the champion side. Kevin's gone up too fluffy. But there is a decision on the The next break that we have, we'll demonstrate a tree rescue. With that type of friction knot, it's a very good system for being able to push around the tree. It's a very good system. It's very good work. Oh yeah.
Mark, the tanks are up.
Tree work's a team job, and you do need a team of people who know what they're doing. And you've got to be forever vigilant and watch photographers without helmets who duck into your work site.
Coming down.
But that's the fact, he's not sure what's going on. I had to watch him and see what he was doing. I didn't know where he was going to go. And of course the public are very much like that. We have the witches' hats out, generally take no notice of it. Communication, danger below, and before the piece was dropped, the grading crew was set clear, and the piece was put down. Would you like to see a demonstration of the rope setting method? Okay, Kev's taking the, undoing the hook. That's a fishing line type attachment. Taking the bag off. Threading one end through the small ring of the cambium saver. Putting the bag back on. Now he's modified the cambium saver with the carabiner on the big end. He puts that through the other side of the fishing line and then pulls the cambium saver up the tree. Pops it over the branch and drops the weighted bag back to the ground. Now, excuse me, on my climbing line, I've gone and stitched a little loop of fishing line into the end of my climbing line so that you don't have to tie knots, you can actually just hook that straight into the end of the line. It saves you a little bit of time and sometimes will save you a bit of grief. Kevin's having to tie knots, but that can work 95% of the time. Occasionally, when you've had a very, very difficult throw and it's a long way up a tree, a knot will come undone when your throw line just gets to the cambium saver and the rope drops out, the throw line drops out, and you've got a cambium saver sitting up the tree. You haven't won anything. So there we go with our rope set through our cambium saver. Thank you. Take his cambium saver out of the tree. And catch it. Further, if you don't drop them on the ground, we don't have to just pull them out. We can tie a throw line to it and lower it down. You'd like to go back in, Dave?
Thank you, Phil. That was great. You can just hang on to the
Of receiving the presentation, technical, at least in terms of technical sense. Okay. I'm not sure at this stage whether Aaron O'Malley has found Jennifer or Sean. And he can do a little whistle. Okay. Can you come and do the light? Is there any particular sort of style of lighting you would like? Okay.
As Judy said a little bit earlier, the tree is a resistant tree. As David said, my project has been ticking over for an embarrassingly large number of years, 7 or 8 years, perhaps. I look at Greg and wince a little bit. I did a graduate diploma in horticulture at Burnley back in the early 90s. And this was an idea that Dr. Peter gave in one of the lectures he gave. And with a few exceptions, I still believe that badly formed roots are almost endemic, still, in the ornamental tree industry in this country. There are some exceptions. There are some very good tree growers around at the moment, and there are more people, more growers.
Through the Urban Forest Biodiversity Program, we've actually paid people to do this wildlife study so we can work out the role of street trees in urban environments and also the value. What they're actually doing is mainly focusing on birds, so bird nesting sites, how birds use these trees.
Certain critical levels. It's a good sentence. I would have written it. Street trees deplete moisture levels below certain critical levels. And therein lies the difference. Okay? There's a professional difference, isn't it? Almost the same sentence, but not quite. Think about it. We then moved on to Mark's talk about the road clearance envelope. And I'm glad we've got someone like Mark in that particular role. I'd like to think that he will be able to bring a horticultural and landscape perspective to an incredibly difficult task. And I find it always interesting, challenging, and I'll admit sometimes frustrating when you're dealing with road traffic authorities.